father left me an acre of land and a bunch of green holly and ivory.
A Town Called Autumn. Written and directed by Regan. This is a production of Regan's Voice.
My morning alarm rouses me once more, and my thoughts start to a very vivid dream I must have had, clearly not one filled with any warm, fuzzy moments, as I can see while my bulbous eyes adjust that my room is not how I left it after I folded my gaunt frame into bed the evening before. Large, cruel marks passed through the wallpaper like it were butter on a warm day. Many of my possessions that had before been positioned very carefully on shelves and sideboards now lay strewn all over the bedroom floor. After a quick inspection, I am relieved to see that nothing appears to be broken. The only damage that I can see is that of the wall's bridges. Yes, that was it. The dream. It was a deep and profound realization about bridges. No matter who you are and what lifestyle you have, I imagine you have passed under many bridges in your time. Whether it be in a vehicle of some kind, on horseback, or even astride one of the giant millipedes that Wrangler Graham lends out to help traverse the more hard-to-reach places of our beloved town. But I had not considered till now that due to our nature now, and the way that we travel, the number of bridges we travel under far surpasses that of the bridges we travel over. Quite a thought in itself, but here is the real kicker. The point of intrigue, the fact that left me bewildered and enlightened in equal measure. Each bridge we may travel under, but we may never travel over each of them in turn. Perhaps a small percentage we may well do, but never all of them. Think on that as you pass majestically on wheels or on many legs, and look up at that looming structure as it passes over you, that you may age, you may fall in love, you may have children, and they may in turn have children too, that you end up traveling with as well. Perhaps you will pass again under the same bridge. However, there is every chance that you will take your last breath, give your last smile, and receive your last hug, and never pass over that bridge. Our minds don't allow us to recount how many bridges we have passed under. However, I do have a theory surrounding that, and those who have gotten close to traveling across the same amount of bridges that they did once pass under. Have you ever stood at the end of a bridge, looking to the other side, and thought, in that moment, I don't want to do this? Perhaps you have come over feeling woozy, or crossing to the other side seems like the most impossible thing to accomplish, and it is, for a very good reason. We all have a predetermined lifespan, whether it be sickness, an accident, or old age, predetermined. However, only to a certain extent. When crossing a bridge, everyone, no matter who they are, even at the very back of their mind, feel relieved. A feeling far greater than the seemingly simple act of crossing an artificial structure between two land masses. That there is the individual getting a little bit more life back. And that apprehension of crossing the bridge is something else, something deeper, not wanting you to. Perhaps that which claims us all in the end, wanting to start that process a little earlier. Curious. I must have been thinking so hard that I did not notice I had left my bedroom, walked past my mother, and walked the entire length of town to Wensleydale Gorge. A large trench cut through the far side of town, presumably what used to be the bed of a fierce river, now silent and excreting that sweet smell. Looking down river, I can see, perched in amongst golden orange trees either side, the bridge. A tall and thin walkway structure where even those without long limbs would have no trouble reaching the handrails either side, a thin layer of grit underfoot, and at the end, I have no clue. Even as a curious childling, I had never dared the crossing, and anyone I asked about it instantly changed the subject with a panicked expression on their faces. The wind gently grazes my hair and sends a chill rattling down my body and out the base of my feet, but I cannot falter, nor turn back now. My dreams and me ending up here must mean something. Each step feels just that little bit more impossible than the last, and for a while the other side of the bridge feels no closer. Gritting my short serrated teeth and closing my eyes, I leap forward with a few humongous strides, and I feel the trees and their leaves at the other side of the bridge kiss softly my shoulder. I gingerly open my eyes, and in an instant I wish I hadn't. There, in a small clearing, strides away from the end of the bridge and facing away from me, a pram. Going back to what I was saying earlier about never crossing nor even coming into contact with the many bridges we pass under every day, many years ago things would have been different. Back when even the tallest bridges were made of wood, though we may not have crossed them in the traditional sense, we would always have come into contact with them, even after death. After lifetimes and villages like ours have risen and fallen, so in time with the bridges, their supports giving way after many days, weeks and years of use, and they would fall to the ground. Then, after rain falls and the aid of many little critters, the structure of the wood would fall apart and, in a sense, become one with the ground, the same ground that we occupy. Not a discarded toy of a child. No, a full-sized pram. It's difficult to say how long it has been there, as the rain cover which has been pulled over the seat is different shades of blue, like material that has been stained by wear and being outside for a long time. However, as a material, it could have been simply textured that way. As the pram is facing away from me, I have no way of telling if an infant has been left in there. However, what I can see through the backrest material is a bulge, a noticeable indent. Something is in the seat. I hear no child cooing or crying, nor any movement in the pram at all. No arms or limbs spilling over the sides. I cannot simply turn and leave what could be a malnourished infant alone on the outskirts of town, knowing how harsh an autumn night can be. Not to mention, in a few days, the pram and its occupant would be buried in leaves. I creep forward, making sure not to make much noise underfoot, just in case what lies before me is not a defenseless little one. I reach out with a clawed hand, keeping as much distance as I can, while still getting a strong grip on the pram handle. I take one deep breath and let the silence of the moment become audible before I at last spin the pram around to face me, and I am both beyond delighted and beyond lost over what meets my hesitant gaze on the outskirts of my acre of land.
You have been listening to A Town Called Autumn, Episode 3, The Bridge. This is a production of Regan's Voice. The voice you have been listening to is Regan.